Hello, Gary Champion, Psychic Medium again. List of things coming up here. July the 3rd, we're going to do free healing. We used to pick someone in the chat room to do it, and now we're just healing the whole chat room. So people who show up for that, if you're in the chat room, that's where the energy is going. Trying to heal a bunch of people at once instead of limiting it to just one. We had success with one, so we thought we'd expand it and see if it worked. And we did it last month and have heard that it was, a lot of people, they felt much better. And whatever they had was relieved. So we're going to do that. July 17th, free readings. You get in the chat room. And these are all 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, USA. And these videos are available on my YouTube site where this video is now playing. July 24th, Improving Your Intuition. It's a class I'm going to teach. You can only get it through my website at www.garychampion.com and under the classes. And there's a bunch of other stuff here, but I'm not going to read it all. We had an interesting thing happen around here last night. Every night at, I don't want to tell you exact times, but my wife walks our dog with a neighbor who has a dog as well. And they go out at the same time, and they go around the block, and they greet people that are out at that time of night and have conversations about various things. And I was charging my phone, so I had it put inside the little console where we don't have a couch really. We've got those 2 seats that are 2 recliners that are put together with a console in the middle, and that's where I charge my phone. And it was sitting in there, so I didn't hear it when it rang. And apparently, now I'm just telling what I know. I don't know the whole story, I'm sure. But my phone rang, and I heard just the ending of it. I was in here on the computer. I think I was typing on a book. And as intuitives will, I knew that something wasn't right, and I got up and went in the other room thinking maybe it would show itself to me. And before I could sit down, I just walked in. I heard the last ring of that phone. A lot of you have heard my phone. It has a unique sort of a ring to it. It's not your bamboo thing, it's something else. Anyway, and I picked it up, and they had already hung up, or it had gone to voicemail, that's what it was. And I saw it was my wife, and I thought, well, why is she calling me? If she's calling me and they're out walking and something not good has happened. I think she only called me once before, and that was the dog was running loose in the neighborhood and wanted me to dog wrangle and get it to the owner. We didn't know who the owner was. Never saw the dog again, but that's what they wanted me to do. My wife and this woman get together and call Gary, let him chase this dog down. So last night I picked it up and I dialed her and I said, did you call me? Because sometimes she butt dials me. It's so common with her that she doesn't shut her phone off. She puts it in her pocket and is walking the dog or something, or shopping or something, and it rings me. And you can call her back, and she's not aware that she's doing it. So I thought that's what it was. I said, did you call me? She said, I did. She said, the lady, let's call her Angela. Angela's collapsed on the sidewalk. Now, Angela's had trouble before. She's not known to be well all the time, but she has been lately, extremely well. And said, I'm going to see if I can get her to her house. And I'm not thinking, why isn't anybody helping move this woman? She's very popular in the neighborhood. Everybody likes her. And I get over to her house, and she can't breathe. She's very, very stroke-like. I'd say she was close to a stroke, if maybe not, didn't have a minor one. It was very close. Anyway, I did some healing work on her for I don't know how long, over half an hour probably closer to an hour, but I don't really know. I didn't ever watch on. You don't time these things when people are dying. And within a period of time, she got up and said she felt great, that she didn't feel any after effects of whatever it was. Well, okay, so I came back home, and my wife has brought the dog home, leaving me with her. And I got home, she told me the whole story. They walk around the circle talking to people, and they got down there and started talking, and she did collapse and sat down and then just laid down, couldn't move, couldn't do anything. And my wife is hollering at them to bring some cold water and a rag where I can, put it on the back of the neck. That revives you real quick. And they stalled around, and my wife's thinking this poor lady's going to die here before I can get her any kind of treatment at all. And why didn't she call 911? I don't know. She called me. I guess she thought that I could do something, and I did. And it really wasn't me. It's the energy. It really doesn't have anything to do with the healer. Healers like to take credit for all the things. Like psychic mediums, like to take credit for a lot of stuff, but it's just not true. I hear voices. They tell me things. The healing energy came out because she needed it, and she was in desperate shape. And so it's not really me. It's the energy. Like to take credit for being, doing something special, but it was just really more my wife, because she couldn't walk. She managed to get her up and get her to walking. And of course, meanwhile, she's handling 2 dogs and a sick woman, trying to get her really a long block up to her house. Got her up to her house, and somewhere in there called me along the way. So she's dialing me. She's controlling 2 dogs and carrying a woman who's incoherent, really, not making any sense. My guess is she had some kind of a stroke, and her lungs didn't work anymore, and she couldn't get any oxygen to her brain, so she didn't make any sense. So that's a story. Kind of dramatic for me and my wife, but I attribute her with knowing what was going on and getting her to her house. And we have all these questions. Why didn't someone invite her in where it was cool? Maybe she would recover. I don't know. There's all kinds of things in retrospect you think about. Why didn't this? Why didn't somebody put her in a car and take her to the hospital? Why didn't somebody? But it cleared up. My wife said, we were just talking about, she's got some emails from her. They're talking, she says she feels great. No ill effects. I think maybe she sent me one. I'm not sure. It'd just be a guess. I don't see anything. So that's the world from our block. Exciting news if you're a healer. Exciting news if you're heat stroking. Now, the end story is that when my wife went by to ring her doorbell and get her, she was in the garage cleaning her garage. Now, it's been 100 degrees here every day for quite a while, so her garage is probably much hotter than that. She was out there for a long time, and then she came out and walked. Usually it's a 15, 20 minute, 30 minute walk, and that's it, before the heat gets you. So she had been stressed before she went out to walk. Anyway, recovering nicely. And there's all kinds of stuff happening in the little neighborhood. I just don't tell you about all of them. Pretty strange things. Roe v. Wade's been overturned. Law of the land is no longer the law of the land. And Clarence Thomas is talking about maybe going further, eliminating same-sex marriages. Of course, some of these guys are not going to be around. All these Republicans that jam the court with Republicans, that's how it happens. And they did it smartly. You know, they got lucky. I don't want to name names or anything, but they waited. There was a vacancy, and they jammed a Republican in there. And the Supreme Court's not supposed to have a party. They're supposed to be above all that, but apparently they're not. And it's going to hurt them at the polls. A lot of them are going to lose their offices because they supported this. Here's the thing. You can't legislate morality. You can't legislate it, allowing you can't unlegislate it. Abortion is not going away. I'd stake everything I know about it. It's not going away. I think abortions have been recorded back to 3500 BC, a long time ago. And that women practice a sort of contraception. Even then, I won't give you the details. It's kind of not good. But back then, it was a matter of feeding them. There's no way to feed them. And people aren't going to curb their appetites. Saying that doesn't work either. Well, why don't you just not have sex? Yeah, it's one of the strongest instincts we have: survival and sex. So that's not going to happen. But you can't legislate it. You can't legislate it away. And I was listening to a guy from here in my state of Texas talking about, we're going to save babies. We're gonna change the world, and these babies are going to have a life. And I said, who's going to pay for it? I was asking that question. And somebody did ask him. And he said, we've set aside $100 million to pay for diapers and formula for these babies that are unwanted that are going to be born. $100 million probably covers 100 children. It takes $1 million to raise a child. You idiot. Anyway, you can't make abortion go away. What you can do is make it more dangerous. And that's what they've done. Abortion's not going away. Before it was legal, people were doing it. Defrocked medical people who were nurses, some woman in the neighborhood who knew how to do it. They were there. They've always been there. Illegal? Yeah. They don't care. They don't know what to do with another child. They've got 10. How are they going to feed it? Anyway, all these, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I'm just reiterating that you've not gotten rid of, for you Republicans don't watch my channel. If they do, I'm unaware of it. But you can't, it's not going away. You've just put it in the back alley somewhere. And what we'll have is babies in dumpsters. Women will die because the procedure was done wrong. And the sadness goes on. Babies are going to continue to die. So you've done nothing. We saved all these babies. No, you didn't. They're unwanted. They'll be given away or whatever. And I have a saying I always say, you can't tell women what to do. You can't. You can try. It seems to me that there's a lot of men telling a lot of women what to do with their bodies. It just doesn't seem right. You think women should be able to figure out what to do with their bodies, and what they want to do with it. I'm not sure they have the right to tell women what to do with their bodies. I'm not an expert on these things, but generally women do what they want to do, and you can't tell them to do something different, in my experience. Anyway, that's my little video for today. We had a crazy experience here on the block, and someone on YouTube called my wife my psychic sidekick. So I can hardly say that. So psychic medium and psychic sidekick saved a life last night. It makes you feel good, but I know the reality of it is the energy did it. I didn't do anything. If I hadn't been there, they would have put her in an ambulance, taken her down to the hospital, and who knows what they would have done to her there. Drained her bank account for sure. And when you need a doctor, you need a doctor. I'm not saying anything bad about doctors. It seemed like the two could work together. And there are some hospitals doing alternative health care within the hospital. Like wings of it, acupuncture and food things, and handling their medical situation in a way different other than slash and burn for cancer, using other things. And energy healing is one of them. So the world's changed, and real doctors call it heresy that you're turning us into witch doctors. It's bogus. I don't know if it helps someone. Do I care? No, I don't. This lady I did some healing work on would see her doctor and said, "Well, all the things that are wrong with you are now not wrong with you. So keep doing whatever it is you're doing." She said she saw me, and that's not my primary occupation. But anyway. He said, "We'll keep seeing him." So it's pretty exciting. And Roe v. Wade has been overturned. Abortion is not going away. There's plenty of states that allow it. Plenty of states that allow it. And I'm not sure which ones they are, but I was looking up north. There's a whole bunch of them. And of course, the West Coast. And scattered all in there, there are states that are going to legislate that it's legal. Since what they've done is taken it out of the national agenda for the Supreme Court and given it to the states to decide. So each state will vote to whether it's legal or not. It's not going away. If they did a national, which is their next step, to eliminate all abortions anywhere in the United States, it's still not going away. It's not going away. You've made it more dangerous for women. Medical procedures need to be done by medical people simply from a cleanliness standpoint. That's usually when they die. It's not the procedure. They'll get rid of the baby, but then the woman will die of complications of perforations and things. Anyway. Good things and bad things in the same day. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And the world keeps turning, and another day has happened. I'm constantly amazed at the things that are happening in the world. And I shouldn't be, because change is inevitable. It's probably inevitable that they were going to overthrow Roe v. Wade. Probably just as inevitable that another law will be enacted saying that it is legal. And hopefully nobody dies. I wish I had something else to say. It seemed like I didn't say anything. Always trying to bring something new. Oh, I saw another ghost dog the other day. Walking down the street in broad daylight. There was a little brown dog about like this in front of a car standing there, and I was going to point the dog out to my wife, and it disappeared. As soon as I said, "Whose dog is that? We don't know that. It's loose. We don't know that." The dog was gone. That was this morning. So the world is an interesting place to live. I hope to see more of it. No fear, no regret, no anger. Thanks for watching.